from the News Channel 5 network. This is Open Line.
Well, good evening and welcome to Open Line. I'm Chuck Long and glad to be here with you for the next hour. Happy fall, everybody. So we thought we'd go a little fall themed, so the shirt reflects that. Glad to be with you, like I said, for the next hour. One of the favorite hours we have here on News Channel 5 Plus. We are talking to the experts tonight, and we're talking to the expert in the legal field. We're talking with one of your very favorites, Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm. Kevin, it's great to have you along for the next hour. Good to see you. How are you doing?
Well, we're here in Clarksville and we're doing the Zoom again. This is becoming the new norm, but I was glad to see that harvest kind of fellowship. It brings a little joy and spark to the programming tonight, and you're always a lot of fun, and so we're glad to be with you and look forward to answering some questions and helping some people. Everything here in Clarksville, a lot of our things are kind of at half capacity, and the courts, you can't hardly even get in the courthouse here in Clarksville because they're screening everybody. And if you're not really on the docket, they won't let you in. Pretty interesting.
We are living in such, a different world, and we continue to live in that world. And, Kevin, that's another thing. I think this hour has always been very helpful to all the people that call in, and you've been on this show for so many years and such a favorite. But now in this time that we're in, I think this hour helps people more than ever because people are anxious. There's a lot of things to worry about. And, your legal questions are the things that many times they keep us up at night. And that's the thing that we love about this hour is you're able to answer so many of those, help not only the people asking the questions, but the people that are also listening and viewing, even if they're tuning in for the first time. It helps so many.
Chuck, even as you were doing that rendition and sharing, I'm having chill bumps because I'm here with you and we're live doing this. And I think about the heartache that I will see tomorrow. I reflect over the heartache and the uncertainty on so many people that I've seen in the past few weeks. So it is very profound. And the real world, even the people at my office, you know what we were talking about? We were talking about it still gets down to a community who cares. And I'm honored to be on this show with you, Chuck. You are truly a kind of guy that cares. When it's all said and done, we need some skilled lawyers. We need to make our arguments. And even in the courts, wow, there's so many of them are shut down. And you can't get a live person hearing in lots of these cases. It's all Zoom. Well, again, what about the pro se people that don't have money for an attorney? And it makes it really challenging. So my heart goes out. I don't think ever in my career, Chuck, I've ever felt this like I feel it now. People need us, and we need to help them.
Absolutely, and you certainly do that. If you're just tuning in, we're glad to have you along with us on Open Line this evening. And if you are one of our regular viewers, welcome back. We're always glad to have you. As you know, the number is right there on your screen, 737-7587. That's the number that you can call. You get this free legal advice. There's so many reasons that people call. I always kind of do a checklist of some of the issues that we hear about, show to show, and whether or not, you're needing to talk to an attorney about business issues, estate planning, family issues. You've been charged with a crime. One person hurts another person and you don't know who to turn to. You're not even sure kind of what to ask. This is a great forum for you because, again, you call, you make your comment, you make your question. Kevin's able to help you along. So, again, that number right there, it's for you, 737-7587. Give us a call. Always gets busy when Kevin's on. Kevin, you guys have been, in business over 35 years. You've got, of course, you've got the knowledge that helps people when they have those questions.
Yeah. It reminds me, Chuck, when you have something and you can really help somebody, you really want to share it. And, the law business can be super tough. And for these individuals that are getting papers served on them, you've got to get to the courthouse. Listen to this, Chuck. When I share this, you'll be shocked. So there's a lot of cases going on, maybe 100 in one courtroom. Now they're 300. So when they try to call the defendants in Montgomery County, they call in the courtroom. Not everybody, we're all social distance. You can't even hear your case. They call in the corridors of the courthouse, which we've got big, and then they go to the yard, the courthouse yard, and call out these cases for those people to come in. Wow. And what do you say? Today's a rainy day. What are you going to do, Chuck? You got to stay out there because they won't let you in because of COVID, but yet you can't miss your court date. It's a challenge, and we're in the early season.
That's right. You know, months to go on this, so we're still all in this together, and which is another thing,
yes,
though.
We are.
That's right. During this hour, we're all in this together. You have those questions. You're thinking about, you know, sometimes whether or not it's a traffic stop, whether or not it's a neighbor who you're not sure, you know, what your legal rights are. If there's some things that are going wrong, you don't know who to ask, where to turn. This is a great way to do it this evening. Kevin, we are going to go on to our lines, but as we start our phone calls, if you're just tuning in, we are glad that you're with us. This is the Ask an Attorney Hour. We're talking with Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm. The number you can call for that free legal advice for the entire hour is 737-7587. Let's go to the lines right now. Raymond is on the line with us. Raymond, you're our first caller. We're glad to have you with us this evening. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Question.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, I had an in-law that passed away a while back, and I can't find his will, but the lawyer that wrote it up has a copy, and I know I've got to go through probate. Is it common for him to show me the will before it goes through probate?
Yeah, now there's a ton of gray areas. Great question. You know, the court requires the original. Well, guess what? If you can't find the original and he had a copy of an executed, there is a procedure in which a lawyer can file with the court and ask them to recognize this as their last will and testament. Sometimes it takes evidence. What kind of evidence? Well, you look to see the witnesses. Are those witnesses still alive? Are they available? And everything we do gets down to a matter of proof. And so I think, yes, if he has it, you have a right to look at it. And if you didn't get it, I'd get a lawyer. And as a general rule, lawyers, if they get a letter from another one, they try to present it. Remember, if you had no will, you can always apply intestate and become an administrator and go through it. So if someone were taking property under that will, it behooves them to act immediately, get a lawyer, file your petition, and you can ask for a court order. So anything that we have to do in regards with the states, go to the judge, lay the facts out, give the other side notice. That'll follow your due process, and then let the judge call it.
All right, excellent advice. Thank you so much, Kevin. And Raymond, thank you for kicking our show off. We appreciate that first question. If you are just tuning in, you can ask your legal questions. Of course, this is all for you for the next hour, 737-7587. We go right back to our phone lines right now. And David is on the line with us. David, good evening. And do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes, sir. I was wondering, is it against the law in the state of Tennessee to have 2 or more flex loans? And if you do, can you be criminally prosecuted?
Okay, I don't know that I heard the whole question, Chuck, if you could help me.
Yeah, actually, David, you can go ahead and just repeat that question, about the flex loan.
Yes. If, in the state of Tennessee, is it illegal to have 2 or more flex loans? And can you be criminally prosecuted if you're behind on paying them?
No, you can't be criminally prosecuted on those. That is a civil problem. The burden of proof in civil cases is a preponderance of the evidence. In a criminal case, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. So if you're dancing as a criminal attorney, you always want to say, this is not criminal, it is civil. Why is that important? Because you have so many defenses available to you. Bankruptcy. Now, we dance a fine line between criminal and civil. And so, for instance, I'll just give you a few little examples of what you just said. For instance, these contractors, they come up and they say, I'll build you a garage, Mr. Kennedy, $50,000. Well, I'll write them a check, $50,000. Well, they never even buy the materials. They take my $50,000 and they run. And do we see it? Absolutely. Let the buyer beware. Now, what I could do is go to the district attorney under those circumstances and said, this guy just ripped me off. It was a complete con game in order for them to defraud me of those contract funds. and they will issue a warrant, and that person will be arrested. As a part of the settlement, they make him have the restitution to pay your $50,000 back. But guess what? Many district attorneys say, no, I'm not going to get into that construct. You go get a lawyer and sue them, so we can sue them. But guess what? If that guy files bankruptcy, that is a civil remedy, and you come up with how much, Chuck, when they file bankruptcy? Zero.
That is it. All right. Once again, excellent information. David, we are glad that you called. We're glad for the question. We're going right back to our lines right now. And again, if you are just tuning in, that's the number to call, 737-7587. If you have those legal questions, we're here for you for the next hour. All right. Let's go right back. Carolyn is on the line with us. Carolyn, good evening. We're glad that you are joining us. Do you have a question or a comment for Kevin?
Yes, I do. Can they serve papers on you or take you to court over a bill that has been from like 2007?
Okay. I think the question is, can someone
Hello?
take you to court on a building that's been established since 2000? Was that the question?
Yes.
Yeah. So listen, in the state of Tennessee, we have what's known as adverse possession. Well, there's a whole bunch of statutes, and remember, everything is interpreted by the judge. Of course, your lawyer would maintain there's a 7-year statute of limitations, or what you would say adverse possession that gives us certain rights that we own that property. If we openly told everybody, that's my property. If we paid the property tax on that, that's my property. No one has disputed the boundary line. We've got a little claim to it. So what happens? That person can always go to court and file a lawsuit to quiet title. And so if anyone had a dispute, they have to raise it then, or the court can issue a court order. Now, we have a 7-year adverse possession, 14-year adverse possession, 21-year. All of them have different interpretations. So your lawyer would read the case law and try to fit your circumstance to protect you. And then the judge is going to either agree or disagree.
All right, big help right there. And as you say, Kevin, a lot of times it's interpretation. So you're helping so many people once again tonight. We've got a lot of you on the line with us. We want you to stay right there, but we do need to take a short break. But we'll be right back with you after this, so come on back with us.